You know it's going to be a long meeting when the very first thing I say is thank you for your patience, okay? Because we're not going to deliver some of the news that you want to hear of when we're repopulating and when you're going to get back in the community. I flew the fire this morning, and it's more devastating than I had even been told it. And if we're thinking that there were just 50 structures and 40 outbuildings, I'm here to tell you that's not true. It's much higher. Yesterday we announced that there had been 6 fatalities. Today I'm telling you 8 fatalities. And unfortunately I'm going to tell you tomorrow, once confirmation has happened, the number will go up. However, these fatalities are not occurring day after day. These were fatalities from the very initial fire that the relatives have called in and asked for welfare checks, and our deputy sheriffs and fire agencies have gone in to check very specific addresses looking for people who have not shown up or called their family. If you are a family member who has not called your family or posted on Facebook, please do so. If you have not gone to the redcross.org website and listed that you're safe, please do so. We want to calm the fears of people in other states and other parts of our world who are worried about people who are perfectly safe, and they don't realize that people are worried about them. So as we go through today, let me continue to talk about the phone number that we now have 10 lines, and all 10 lines are ringing constantly. 707-467-6428, and we want you to call with questions. We don't want you to say, the sheriff's office is too busy, I don't want to ask. We want you to ask a question, because if you have a question about a person or an address or an animal, we're taking that information and we're forwarding it to the right people to get back in touch with you. You will not get the answer immediately, because our call takers are exactly that. They're taking the calls, filling out the forms. Please be patient when we ask you how to say your name or spell your name again. Some people are very frustrated. I understand that. On the emergency mandatory evacuation that occurred last night in Potter Valley, it was done for a very specific reason. And I think when you hear from the meteorologist, the weather forecaster today, you're going to understand why we did it and how we did it. I understand your frustration. I'm sorry. Many of my friends were affected, but many of my friends have lost their house also. So we're doing it to hopefully reduce the number of deaths and reduce the number of structures that are going to be lost. As I flew the fire today, I will give a shout out to CAL FIRE for the amount of fire break that they're doing. The dozers are certainly in our area and are certainly working. We are rated number 3 in priority of a 10 disaster situation, and our resources continue to arrive. The Sheriff's Office is being assisted by El Dorado County Sheriff's Office and Sonoma County and Humboldt County deputies, as well as Lake County deputies. Law enforcement is continuing, and unfortunately we continue to make arrests in the Redwood Valley area for things that people shouldn't be doing, whether it's looting or whether it's literally trying to tell a deputy, yes, I am going to go through the roadblock, and trying to run over a deputy sheriff. These things shouldn't happen. We're a civilized society, and we're trying to protect it for everyone, especially the residents and the first responders. Those are very important to us. So please help us with that. I'm going to ask the CEO to speak, and I just want to say this about where the county is right now. Probably the very first thing the CEO is going to say is that the county is up and running. The courts are up and running. Maybe it sounds like a broken record, but this county has stepped up and has not become another situation where the first thing the government does is close their doors for an excuse. We're continuing to keep our doors open for every reason we should, whether it's animal control, whether it's public health, whether it's a building department. You're paying a salary, we're trying to stay open for you. So I certainly appreciate the mantra that is being said at the CEO's level of delivering services. If you want to get mad at a deputy sheriff who's closing a road, please get mad at Tom Allman, A-L-L-M-A-N. because that deputy sheriff is following my policy, and the treatment that some people are giving them is ridiculous. Please just think of this. Please remember this. Every contact you have with a deputy sheriff most likely is being tape recorded. And if you'd like us to play it back to you later, we will. And I'm saying this because of the treatment some of the deputy sheriffs and CHP officers and the Fort Bragg police officers are taking from people who are very frustrated. I feel your pain, I know your frustration, I've been in your shoes, but right now we're trying to keep it safe for everyone. So with that, I'd like to ask the County CEO, Carmel Angelo, please.
Good afternoon. The sheriff is right. The first statement I'll make is that Mendocino County services are open. All of our offices are open. And we're here to serve you. That's why we're here. And that's what you'll hear at every press conference, because it's true. The other information that we have shared is that our shelters are open. As you know, we have a shelter here at Ukiah High, one in Willits and one in Hopland. Those shelters are at about half capacity, so we have room for more people, and there are meals being served at those shelters. The new information is that there had been a request for masks because of the air quality, and certainly people that have trouble breathing, and then everyone as well because of the air quality. So we are offering N95 masks to the public. Our first distribution of the masks will be today at 3:30 at Frank Zeke's school. So when you leave here, you could go over to Frank Zeke and get your mask. And that's actually a drive-through mask distribution. And again, that will be at 3:30. We have 500 masks today. We will be having another distribution point for masks. That'll be tomorrow morning at 9:30, and that will be at the Willits Library. So as far as today, again, as the sheriff has said and as I have said, and you'll hear and you'll see, all of our county offices are open. The sheriff gave you a number to call if you had a question or required assistance. We also have 211 available. So if you call the county number, that's our phone bank, and you can't get through, try 211. If you call 211 and you can't get through, try the other number. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Kaufman. I'm the PIO for CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 4. I'm also a fire captain from Ventura County, California. The reason I tell you that is because our CAL FIRE Incident Management Team is made up of firefighters from all over the state of California. And so normally on any normal given day, not when there's 17 major fires going on in the state of California, but on a normal day, one incident management team would be assigned to each one of these fires individually. But because there's so many fires in the state of California, one incident management team is managing 2 or 3 fires throughout the state of California. When we assemble as a team, the 50 of us, we look at ourselves as your fire department. So for the duration of this, as long as you see us in town, you might not recognize our patch, you might recognize these goofy little red hats that we wear. But for all intents and purposes, we look at ourselves as your firefighters for the duration of this fire. Now, I want to do a couple things. CAL FIRE has an app, and one of our goals is to get you speedy information, and we want you to have accurate information. I'm aware that there's a bunch of inaccurate information. I've been told today that there's maps out there that are a few days old that people are looking at thinking that they're not affected by the fire. So as we move forward, we will give you the accurate maps at these meetings. We have the accurate maps that are going to be posted on our website. And I'd like you to, if you have a smartphone, we have a app for smartphones for all platforms in the App Store. It's called Ready for Wildfire. I encourage you to download that app onto your phone. Once you have it on your phone, that app actually has a little spot where you can click on incidents. If you click on the incidents and scroll down, you'll see all of the fires that are active in the state of California right now. If you click on any one of those fires, it will have all the details about the fire. And if you have relatives that live outside of this area that are affected by one of the other fires, you can click on one of the other fires and look at what's going on with that fire. Each one of those fires has an information phone number that's available. Those are all on the app under each specific fire. So you'll be able to call those fires and talk to somebody at that fire about the status of that fire. I really want to assure you that our goal is to get you the correct information, and so do not believe the information that you're seeing erroneously in some of the social media platforms. If you have questions, call either the number that the sheriff gave you or the information line that's on the red sheets that we handed out here today. Later on today, after this meeting, we are going to present a map that has some red dots in the areas that we've identified damaged or destroyed homes. Our damage assessment teams went out yesterday and they started assessing the damage to the fire area. They're still doing that today, and we anticipate that's going to go on for the next couple days. As they bring the information back to us, we're going to make it available to you. So today we're going to start with, after the meeting, come over here to this map over here to my right, your left, and we're going to have folks at the map that can talk to you a little bit about it. Very, very generic information. Our plan is tomorrow, we will have a meeting tomorrow where we are able to talk one-on-one with each resident that's affected to talk to you about your property. And unfortunately, this is a scenario where it's going to be an uncomfortable situation for those folks that have lost homes. So I ask you in advance for your patience. We really do want to have that one-on-one time with each resident because it's a personal thing going over what your status is of your house. We understand. We're all homeowners. We all come from an area where we're affected by disasters just like you are, so we can empathize with you. And I assure you, number one, we're getting firefighters from all over the state of California that are starting to show up to our fire. Just today, I saw firefighters from the LA Basin area. I saw firefighters from San Diego, the state of Washington, Nevada, the state of Oregon. We have firefighters literally coming from all over the United States of America to help our efforts. And I will tell you, I don't like speaking on behalf of anybody else. This is the one time that I do it, and I feel comfortable doing it. Firefighters do not look at this. This is not a job for us. This is a passion or a calling, and we really do care about what's going on in your community. That's why we're here. So the reason that we're up here hand in hand with the sheriff and your local elected officials and your local fire departments is because we really do this hand in hand. And we want you to have the most up-to-date information. So here's the other hard conversation. We're expecting some more winds tomorrow. Tomorrow night we're expecting winds that could be almost to the force that we saw on Sunday and Monday. So we're not out of the woods yet. We still have danger ahead of us. And so literally all it takes is one of those small little hot firebrands to come outside of our containment lines that we do have built already, and then we're off to the races again. So I can't stress enough, I appreciate your patience, but we still have a few crazy days ahead of us with the winds that we're expecting starting tomorrow night over the weekend. So I ask you to be vigilant. I don't see any major repopulations in sight, and we're going to talk to you and we'll be forthright as far as when those are going to be coming out. But this is a huge concern to us. We have one day, and our operations chief will talk about this, we have one day to get those lines prepared for these winds that are coming tomorrow night, and so we're going to do that. Now, I'd like to now bring up our operations chief, and he's going to talk to you about the current status of both fires.
Good afternoon, Mark Higgins, Operations Section Chief, Incident Management Team 4. Okay, we have two incidents. The sulfur incident in Lake County, currently 1,700 acres with no expansion, no growth. The Redwood Fire, starting here at the 101 and Reeves Canyon to Howard Forest. It's been burning for a couple of days. It's holding very well and looking very good. From Howard Forest all the way across the top, the Willits watershed, below Pine Mountain, and into Tomkai Creek, we're actively fighting fire. We're making very good progress. From Tomkai Creek to Van Arsdale, same situation. Active firefighting, making very good progress. From the Eel River Road back south to the lower portion of Potter Valley. We're continuing to mop up the structures, making very good progress, mitigating any hazards. Coming across into lower Redwood Valley, the same situation. It's been burning for a few days, and we're making very good progress on mopping everything up.
Good afternoon, I'm Ron Bravo. I'm the Deputy Incident Commander with CAL FIRE Team 4. So I want to touch upon a couple of things. One of the things is we've had some challenging days over the past week. We're going to continue to have challenging days. Are we making progress like our Operations Chief said? Yes. But as all of you can attest, the weather that was present the other night was unprecedented for the amount of fire spread, the speed, all those things that happened. The community has suffered a great loss through that. But this community isn't alone with that loss. To the south of us, you know that Santa Rosa, Sonoma County, as well as Napa County, we have a lot of destruction and a lot of heartache. One of the things the state has done is it's reach out to its surrounding states for additional resources. Like you said, they're coming from all parts of the country to give us aid. One of the things that we try to do is damage inspection. Damage inspection is the responsibility of the county, but we have resources we can bring in to do that initial survey and get that information to the county for validation. Our teams are throughout this region doing damage assessment. We had to get the Lake County fire, the sulfur fire taken care of because it was in a state where it was a little bit cooler. We can get our teams in there. We have a total of 3 teams assigned to us. We sent 2 teams out today to start our validation on the Redwood incident, and we have finalized the sulfur damage inspection. So when we go over the map that we talk about, that is the beginning. There is still a lot of work. Now, just because there's a neighborhood on there that may not have a house identified, that does not mean that we have already gone through there yet and it's secure. The reason I bring this up is this is initial stages of getting that information. We want to give you the information as most accurately as we can. However, it does have to be validated. And the reason we want to give you that information, this is a hard thing for people to deal with, and we understand that. We have firefighters from this community that are working with this incident management team that have their families evacuated. Some of them have homes to the south of us that have been affected. So everybody that is involved in this engagement has had some sort of effect from what's going on. We understand your plight. If it's not this year in this community, it's last year in numerous other communities. We understand and we plead with you for patience because we understand what you're going through. With that, I'd also like to point out that we have had great cooperation. Be thankful for your neighbors, your friends, and your families that are volunteer firefighters, that are police officers, that work for Pacific Gas and Electric, your phone companies. This is not a fight that we're fighting by ourselves. We reach out to all of our cooperators, and it is a team effort. And as you can see behind me, all of these folks pitch in together so that we can do what we've been asked to do, and that is serve the public and give you what you need. So, I'll conclude, but please be patient, be thoughtful, and I've said it before, reach out to your friends, your neighbors, be supportive of each other. You are a strong community and you rely on each other to get through this battle together. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Ron Richardson. I'm the Incident Commander for PG&E for this complex, the Redwood Complex fire. I'm also the local superintendent for Mendocino, Lake, and Humboldt counties. I want to give you a brief update on our restoration efforts for this complex fire. Before I do that, I just want to say a thank you to CAL FIRE, Sheriff Ullman, to make this situation safe for us, to allow us to get our jobs done safely and efficiently. So damages so far on the Redwood Complex fire, we're looking over 200 plus PG&E power poles that have burned down this event. Looking at the resources that we've brought in so far, we've pulled in close to 400 resources to restore the power to the Redwood Complex fire. I just want to say we have a lot of crews out there working, and these are tough conditions for our employees. They're seeing a lot of situations out there with a lot of burnt homes, and at times it's tough for them to see that and keep them doing their jobs. But PG&E is here through this event to make sure we get the job done safely, and we're here till the end. And then it's not only that the fire is ended, it's all about the restoration efforts when you guys start rebuilding. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor McCowan, I know that you have information regarding FEMA and NCO, if you want to talk about that. Let me explain about Willits. If you have relatives in Willits and you can't get through, we still do not have the hard lines completely repaired in Willits, so 911 is not entirely working. 911 on your cell phones will work, but not on your hard lines. There are people who have not slept for 36 hours trying to repair this. And we certainly appreciate what AT&T is trying to do to make it work. I want to talk about Ukiah Police Department for just a minute about what they've done. Ukiah Police Department has put a person in a command post, and we are trying to, they're trying to work with the Ukiah citizens regarding the impact of the shelters we've had, as well as the impact of just the, if we can use the words, refugees. There's people who aren't going to shelters, and they're trying to find a place to camp or sleep, and Ukiah Police Department has really stepped up to help these and to understand the empathy involved in what people are going through. The insurance companies are trying to set up tents in the Redwood Valley area where they will be able to give immediate checks to insured people, the $5,000 checks or so that will help with the immediate incidentals, and we appreciate them. And we're trying to get a list of the phone numbers on one piece of paper where everybody will know who to contact for insurance help. So Supervisor Chair McCowan.
Thank you, Sheriff Allman. I'd like to give some info on where you can get help and where you can give help. So FEMA is in the county, and they will be working to assess damaged areas and get assistance to people who have been impacted. This can happen fairly quickly, but because of the number of disasters statewide and nationwide, it can limit the number of people they have available to do assessments. However, if you will call 1-800-321, having trouble reading the off-color screen, 1-800-321, excuse me, 621, it's
Your screen's too dark, John. Here, keep talking.
okay. Well, here I'll give you some local information. North Coast Opportunities intends to be available to accept applications starting tomorrow morning. The contact person is Robin Barra, 467-3210. So North Coast Opportunities provided immediate emergency assistance to people from the Lake County fire. They are organizing to do the same for the Redwood Complex fires. Again, 467-3210. NCO has also activated their volunteer network. If people want to know where can I provide volunteer assistance, NCO is coordinating that. 467-3200 is their main number, and you'll just have to work through the voicemail system to connect with where you can get info on volunteering. 1-800-417-3200 for the FEMA number. You can also go to online to wrong screen, okay. Thank you for your patience. www.disasterassistance.gov. You can also, on some phones, Google FEMA app. And again, this is for fairly rapid assistance depending on their ability to get in and make the assessments. And so if you call that 800 number or go to the online, you can start a case file for that. Also, people want to know, where can I take donations? Currently, the Ukiah Playhouse is accepting donations of non-perishable food and water, and towels and blankets are the most immediate need. That's 24/7 at the Ukiah Playhouse on Low Gap Road, directly across from the high school. Also, in front of the high school, at least during the day, they are accepting non-perishable food and water. Thank you. One more thing, I just want to make it clear the county is fully engaged and very aware of everyone's frustration and needs, and that's why you have not only myself, but Supervisor Brown, Supervisor Krosky, Supervisor Hamburg are all present here. Supervisors Brown and Krosky were also part of the mandatory evacuation, so we understand the frustration, but we also understand the need to make sure that areas are truly safe before people are allowed back in. Thank you.
Once again, if you want to make sure that you get notified regarding any reverse 911, please register at the Everbridge website, the MendocinoSheriff.com. You go to the emergency notification icon, it's for Everbridge. It takes 5 minutes to register. You can register up to 3 addresses. They don't even have to be your addresses. It could be a school address, it could be a business address. And if there's any reverse 911 emergency information, you will be one of the first to know. You will be notified before the press. I also want to remind people, last night during the Potter Valley evacuation, we knew that cell phones were not working in Potter Valley, and so we did the emergency alert system. The second time as your sheriff that I've activated the emergency alert system. But unfortunately, because the Laughlin repeater site had been damaged during the fire, the Bay Area was notified, and Potter Valley and Redwood Valley were 2 of the last groups to know. We have people up there trying to correct the damage for the fires damaged twice, but please, on the emergency notification, that's the way to go. Okay, we're going to start questions, and let me just say, if it's a specific address question, we will meet with you up here after the meeting to go specific address questions. Well, okay, Supervisor.
One more correction, I'm not the only one with challenged eyesight. So the FEMA number, 1-800-621-3362.
Okay. Now I want to talk about if you believe that your house, or you don't know if your house has been destroyed or if it's still standing. And the mechanism we're taking right now was talked about the damage assessment team, is they're photographing, and hopefully by tomorrow we will be able to meet with citizens who can give us a very specific address. We'll have the information on it, and hopefully we'll have at least one digital picture of that location, good or bad. Please be prepared for bad news. It's an emotional experience to learn that your house you're hoping that it's not burnt, but if we show you that it's to the ground, we're just trying to give you the information as quick as possible so you know. We hope, and I'm not going to make any date promises, to be escorting people in as soon as it's safe, as soon as the wires have been taken off the road, as soon as the trees that have fallen off the road have been removed, or the trees that are currently burning are removed from near the roadway. Because yesterday, as I said at one of our press conferences, our team of detectives was assisting in recovering a victim of the fire, and a tree crashed very near their site. So it is not for any other reason except your safety and our safety that we're trying to keep the area secure. I'm very sorry, people are frustrated, and that's it. So we're going to take questions. Please speak slowly, and we will try to answer your question, and it's directed to the agency that you think is going to be the best at. Right, now CHP, did you have anything to add today? Bruce Carpenter? Okay. Yes?
For PG&E, what's the word on gas in Willits?
PG&E, gas in Willits.
So I have a team up there right now up in Willis, and I know the last night, I believe a little over 200 customers were relit. And they're hoping with the next 2 days to have the rest of Willis relit. So the next 2 days.
So the gas line's open?
Correct. So we're using CNG out of Willis. We're tapping into the line to temporary feed Willis right now with gas.
Sheriff,
Yes, ma'am.
so when you say that you want to make sure it's safe, that means the entire valley you will need to feel is safe before you even let a portion in, or will you do it by section?
We're going to do it by sections, thank you very much. And some people are saying, well, I know my house is safe, can you just let me go in to get something? And honestly, our resources are taxed. So if you have an absolute emergency need for something, then come see me after this meeting. I mean, we have ways to take care of that emergency need for something, but we're trying to use our resources as best as possible, and then we're going to do it in sections. So when I talk about sections, I want to talk about that there are some areas of West Road which will be easy to access, some parts of West Road easy to access, some parts of Tomkai to easy access. There's some houses which are several miles off the roadway, which will be the last ones to be inspected by the damage control team, damage assessment team. Yes, ma'am.
You talk about West Road, how about East Road?
East Road and West Road, you know, East Road from Road I north does not look good. There's no question about it, does not look good, including Rancheria Road and so forth. And we're still, when I talk about West Road, I'm talking about all the roads, really and truly, because they have the damage assessment team that I've met with them this morning, and they're trying to be as quickly as possible. But let's say it takes 20 minutes at each house, we're talking it's going to take several days, so that's where we are. Yes, sir.
I've called both FEMA and 211, and you can't put in an application yet.
Okay, so you've called, now we have FEMA, he said he's called FEMA and 211, and he has not been able to put an application in. I know that we have FEMA boots on the ground in Mendocino County. So I'm not sure how we can... So FEMA will go into that stage of their work after the smoke is somewhat cleared. And I want to talk about smoke. This fire is going to be smoking until we have a heavy rain. There's no question about that. But FEMA right now is not giving out applications for immediate response. But that's where local Red Cross can help you, or maybe your insurance company.
What they said was they're not accepting applications till the fire is totally contained.
Right, well, I understand, yes. Ma'am, you had a question, yes, ma'am?
Can somebody speak to where the eastern edge of that complex is, the Van Arsdale area? I'm in Potter Valley, in Bachelor Valley in Lake County, and I'm wondering what the prognosis is for it moving our direction.
Okay, we're currently holding the fire at Eel River Road, right up here near Van Arsdale. The fire is currently backing into the Van Arsdale community. We have personnel currently at scene fighting fire. Prognosis, if the wind comes up, it's likely it'll cross the highway and continue to the southeast.
Sheriff, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm from ABC7. Just wanted to, I know you guys...
You're from ABC7?
Yes.
We appreciate you being here instead of... Let me say this. We are very sorry for our neighbors to the south and to the east, Napa County, Lake County, and Sonoma County. We're very, very sorry for that. But from the bottom of our heart, we've been very frustrated when the Bay Area radio stations and TV stations have been talking about everybody except Mendocino County, and our victims are victims here too. Okay, I'm ready for your question, and since you've heard my scolding, okay?
I want to put your story out. So first, acreage, I know you mentioned it, CAL FIRE did, and I know it's fluid. Acreage, structures, number of missing. Can you just give me an update?
Yes, so here's the Reader's Digest version.
Okay. And then you
Approximately 30,000 acres.
okay.
The initial report was 50 residences and 40 outbuildings. I'm going to tell you, I believe that it's fair to say that number could easily double. We had 3 fatalities, and it was 6 fatalities, and now we have 8 fatalities total. And of displaced citizens, I would imagine we're in the area of 5,000, but I don't know if anybody's ever come up with that number. What did I miss, Steve?
So let me just give you the accurate number. I think, I'm sorry. 34,600 is the number total for both of the fires. Once we break them down, the Redwood fire is 32,100 and the sulfur fire is 2,500 acres. So for both of the fires, structures threatened currently is at 1,000. For both of the fires, we don't have them broken down yet. Single family residence destroyed is 250. Minor structures or outbuildings destroyed is 90, but that's a moving number, right? That's continuing to go up as our damage assessment teams go in. And then eventually we'll be able to break those down by fire, but right now we still have them combined for both of the fires.
And how many people are evacuated?
The number that I heard this morning was about 8,000 people were evacuated. That's between both of the fires. Both for the Lake County fire, the sulfur fire, and the Redwood fire here in Mendocino County.
Do you have a breakdown?
I do not have a breakdown. Thanks, sir.
I want to talk about price gouging, and we've had reports of price gouging that both reports were untrue. They were unfounded. But if a gas station, if a restaurant, if a hotel is charging more than their normal rates, there's actually penal codes that clearly describe that. And our district attorney has said he's very anxious to look into that. Yes, sir.
There are areas, obviously, in Redwood Valley that will be the last to repopulate as I'm on road to health. Is CAL FIRE going to go in there first and assess so we can know what's happening in those worst areas? Because they're going to be the last areas we're going to go into.
So the question is, Road L, you believe is going to be one of the last areas to be evaluated, but let me tell you that the damage assessment team they're not working 8-hour days, they're working daylight. They're going from in the morning until night. And so hear me out, I heard you out, let me finish. When you say that's the last one, I don't believe it's going to be the last one, and I believe we're going to have a very good damage assessment within 48 hours.
So real quick, we've got folks working throughout the incident. We get information back from our engines, our divisions, and our branches. Those folks are on the ground and giving information back to the incident command post. Our damage inspection teams are following up on some of the information that they already have. So it's a fluid and dynamic environment that they're working in, so they're not focusing necessarily on one specific area. The teams are going in multiple areas. So it will be addressed. We try to do as quickly as possible, like we said, so that we can give you the information so that if you have things you have to start working on through your insurance company and notifications, we're going to try to do that as expedient as possible.
Supervisor Krosky is going to come up. If you don't know, one second, Andy, this gentleman over here was first. If you're not aware of the animal need, well over 100 horses have been taken, as well as cows. We have 200 dogs and cats that have been put in shelters. Supervisor Krosky, as a veterinarian, also has the unfortunate task of going around and helping citizens euthanize injured animals. It's certainly not a task that any of us would like to do, but she's been very heroic doing this. But if you want to donate towards the animal care, it would be to the Ukiah Animal Shelter, to the Humane Society. Rainbow Ag is working with a group called Safer, which is for the horses to buy alfalfa and feed and medical supplies, and also to Willits High School. Willits High School is taking all the small livestock, the goats and sheep affected, and their 4-H team certainly doesn't have the money to take care of this. So if you want to donate and you don't know what to do, if you want to donate to animals, there's several organizations that would like to assist, but Supervisor Krosky. Oh wait, safer? You're going to talk about safer?
Not really, I'm gonna let you talk, but just so you know, they can donate to Humane Society or Animal Control through Rainbow, so they can't set up a agreement.
Okay, so Rainbow is a one-stop shop. That's a, Mayfield's just got a free ad.
Thank you. So I have been helping with some of the rescue organizations, and so I just wanted to stress, you know, we do have a lot set up for both small and large animals. We currently are encouraging people that have their horses out to go ahead and make the drive to Boonville. So they do have stalls there, they have the water on, they have bedding. So, you know, that is a good spot to take your horses. They will have their own separate pens there. So Ukiah, we do have a lot of horses there. We brought in many more panels this morning, but we would like to keep some of those pens open for horses that we are finding. So that way the displaced horses, they just have to travel to Ukiah, and that way we can keep them penned there and have vet services there at Ukiah. So we're also, you know, dealing with the fact that we've got 2 of our vets, of the 4 vets in the county, have been evacuated, and another one did lose his house. So we're struggling with the large animal vet side. The small animal vets are doing a great job helping with all of the care there. So I have reached out to UC Davis is willing to help. Lake County vets are willing to help. Again, you know, I think the community has done a great job. I asked for panels. I had at least 100 panels that people were willing to donate within 20 minutes. So, you know, the community really is helping out with the animal situation. I think we are continuing to find horses, goats, pigs that have been let loose. And we have teams going in helping, bringing those out, and vets assessing them when they come out. So I just want to give an update. Horses, if you can, Boonville's a better place to take them so we can keep Ukiah for the sheep, goats, horses that we find. And we do have a fair number of sheep and goats at Ukiah too.
Okay, sir, you have a question.
So I just want to say before I start, I really appreciate all the work you guys have done because I see the stuff. I've tried to go back to my house a few times. I actually got in. I had a highway patrol bring me to my house. I was able to get in and get some stuff. The power's back on, which I was surprised to see. I live just past the area of right off of West Road, and that area is this Redwood Valley, and it's a complete secure area. There's no power lines in the area. There's no gas leaks in the area. There's no. It's like when I went in there, I asked the highway patrol. I said, "Hey, how come they're not letting us back in here? Because the hardship of my granddaughter and my son being displaced, and the dogs, and all the other things that we're doing. It's just you try to mitigate some of the damages financially and get us back into our homes in a quick manner. I see Sonoma County, I see Lake County, I see Napa County sheriffs allowing people to go back into areas that had fire. Our subdivision wasn't even burned. And so I fail to see why we're not being allowed in those areas.
I want you to know that I've expressed your concerns because there are other people concerned with my concerns. I'll certainly ask CAL FIRE for a response.
All right, I hear you loud and clear, but one of the things that's transpired over the last couple of days, we had the initial event, the fire moved very rapidly. It went from Boonville, correction, not Boonville, Potter Valley. See, I'm scared, I'm getting tired, I apologize. Anyway, the amount of travel time that it took that first night was unprecedented. It moved fast and quickly. And some of the reasons it moved so quickly had to deal with the fact that the fuels that it was burning in were very, very dry. And I'm not just making that up. There was a time that we hadn't seen the RHs drop below 16%. So your fine, flashy fuels respond rapidly. Coupled that with 60-mile-an-hour winds with gusts even above that, that fire was moving very rapidly. So we had a day where the weather changed, and we had the fire moving in multiple directions when the north wind slowed down. We had fire moving to the east, to the north, to the west, and to the south. We did our best to corral it. We still had problems. Last night, the evacuation of over 1,000 people in Boonville. God, I can't get Potter Valley. And the funny thing is my little sister-in-law is from Potter Valley. Anyhow, that was very frustrating for us to have to do that, but that fire started moving and responding to the weather that we had last night and got down in there quickly. We have to make those decisions at a very rapid rate. And what we don't want to do is put people back into their area and then have to evacuate them out. The yo-yo process and the emotional strain that is on the homeowners is intense, and we understand that, but we don't want to move them in, move them out. Right now, today is our opportunity to secure a lot of the lines. If we can get through today and be prepared to deal with the next weather event that's going to be pushing it back down towards us here in the south part of this complex, we are going to have our hands full. And what we don't want to do is put people in a place that they can get injured. And I understand from your perspective, it looks secure, it looks like everything's fine. We're doing everything we can to get you back in there. We, in our positions, have been in your shoes too. We have lived in communities that we've had fires in. A lot of us live in more rural areas of the state, and we've done that. So I understand completely. When I have had to have my family out of their home, it is very frustrating. But what I want to do is ensure that you have yourself and your family to be able to reflect on what's happened. And I do not want to put you in a position to do that.
Mark Benson, Deputy Chief, Mendocino Unit. I'm from this unit. My house is threatened by this fire. And I want you guys to take a look at the map here. See all this red line we have around there? That means the fire can come out of those sections at any time. Your safety is our top priority. This black area is where we're pretty sure that that fire is not going to come out. This is where it's safe, is down here. This is not safe in here yet. I was just out to that area, just past where you're talking about. I know you weren't allowed to go there. But that area has power lines down. There are still hot spots. There is a lot of damage in there. There are trees across the road. It's just past where you're talking about. But I've been there. I was there today.
We don't have power lines in our neighborhood.
I understand, but you gotta realize that just past that area, there is problems. And this red area here is areas where the fire can still come out of there. So your safety is our top priority. We're thinking about you. Trust us.
I understand your frustration. Let me say this. Other than the immediate public safety, the repopulation of these areas are the #1 discussed issue every hour of every day. And I'm saying that because I'm involved in every discussion. I don't, CAL FIRE may not like this, okay? But some of these guys in 3 weeks may not be here, and I'm going to be here. And you may not remember their name, but you're going to remember my name. And I'm trying to get you the answer as quick as possible. However, there comes a time that public safety has to override even what the sheriff wants. And that's where we are right now. I'm very sorry for your frustration, and I can tell you that when I drove in yesterday and I drove all the way back to Fry Winery, there are houses that are standing perfectly still, and if it was my house, I'd say, why can't I go to my house? Then CAL FIRE explains the situation to me, and I tell you, as much as I don't want to hear it, I understand. Thank you.
So one thing I want, we have 6 incident management teams throughout the state of California, made up of folks throughout the state. My team that I'm usually on, I always ask my responders, when we have these events, I want you to go down and walk through an evacuation center because you understand what people are going through, and it is very, very, very difficult because we have to understand what you're going through. And if we haven't lived it ourselves, then we need to go down and get your perspective. And believe me, it affects every one of us. We want to get you home, and we're going to do everything we can, but it's a group effort. We rely on our partners with the power, gas, the telephones, the sheriff. This is an effort that we rely on each other's expertise to make sure that this is going to be a safe environment for you to get into. And I can tell you right now, I am very uncomfortable with the weather pattern that's coming. And I say that not to be doom and gloom, but this fire season at this state of the year is very, very dangerous. You live in an environment that has a lot of flashy fuels and it responds quickly. I do not want to report any more fatalities with the sheriff. I do not want to do that, and I do not want that responsibility on my shoulders that I let you in too early. Thanks.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Is there any possibility to have this information in Spanish? Because some people are coming to this debrief, but maybe we cannot give the accurate information, or maybe we are doing a wrong translation. So I don't know if we can have like a press release, official press release to share with the Latino community who has been affected.
That's a very fair question. The question is can we have a bilingual press release? And what I will ask if it's okay with you, if after tomorrow's press release, after the first hour, I certainly would be willing to stick around for a half hour with anybody who wants to hear it in Spanish and have a translator there, if that works for you. Would that work for you?
Well, I have been affected. I am speaking on behalf of the Latino
Right.
community. I have a local Spanish newspaper, and we are posting, and I am translating I am highlighting the most important facts of each debrief, but I don't know if I am doing correctly. I would like to hear about the official part.
Right, so CAL FIRE has requested tomorrow's meeting be at 6:30 p.m. here. Is that right, CAL FIRE?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will have a 6:30 to 7:30 meeting here, and at 7:30 we will have a bilingual meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. One second, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Sheriff, this is for you. I evacuated Monday morning and left 3 horses behind, and I'm with the North End of Fire. I called county dispatch, took all the information. Last night, Sean Silly, the lawyer, drove to that fire, got my horses. I brought him to the fence.
Okay, so you're...
I just want to tell you, the phone number, the county dispatch number works. Everybody should use it. If you have horses or animals that are lost, if you give them a description, I gave him his whole description, and at 6 p.m. last night, he went from West Road, which is the bottom, it's North State Street, at the bottom of that fire, all the way out west, all the way out High, got my horses and brought them back.
And John Tilley is with the Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue. And we've certainly asked John to go in there and assist with as many livestock removals as possible. I'm sorry for what you're going through. I hope your horses are safe. And John Tilley's the right guy. He's born 100 years too late. Right. And I want to talk about some of the local businesses other than Rainbow Ag and talk about businesses that have donated literally hundreds of bales of alfalfa. The one who just took over Farm Supply. Ag Unlimited. Okay, Ag Unlimited, yes. Donated several hundred bales of alfalfa at the fairgrounds now. Flying S, yes, ma'am. And then you're next, sir.
So I just have an announcement because I haven't heard it included. Just for anybody who's being evacuated or recently from Potter Valley, Mendocino College Ukiah campus has bathroom facilities in their athletic building, and it's open 24 hours. They also have towels, shampoos, soaps, and hygiene items. They're allowing tent camping on the athletic fields as well as RV and camping in the parking lot, but they do not have any hookup.
So yes, I apologize. The college president has talked about that. They have bathroom and shower facilities at the college. The college is closed at least through tomorrow, and there is tent camping available there.
Tent camping, RV, shower.
And RVs.
And they're offering food too in the mornings and in the evenings.
Yes, sir.
Did you want to mention again that U.S. mail for Redwood Valley is available for pickup at the Ukiah Post Office?
That's right. Ukiah Post Office has a Redwood Valley mail, and that's basically starting at West Road and East Road by Little Baker's Market, everything north. Is that correct? Yes. And just go in and give your name, and we certainly appreciate what the post office is doing. Yes, sir.
What about the store? I mean, they used to block after the fire department, so you cannot go to East Road. But there is no fire on East Road, at least from Little Baker's to the store and School Street. You could open and let those people go in.
I understand, sir. You and I have had this conversation 3 times. I apologize. Let me just finish. I listened to you, okay?
Yeah, but yesterday you said that today we can go in. Yesterday you said that at the press conference.
No. What I said yesterday is we're doing everything we can to try to repopulate and move some of the roadblocks. The very first day, the roadblock was at the intersection at the fire station there, and it created a huge traffic problem because people took their cars there and just stopped. And there's still a fire station there, the Redwood Valley Capella Fire Station is one of the reasons that they ask us, can we move the roadblock to a different location so we don't have so many cars parked there? I'm sorry for your frustration. I know this market is there. It's a very fine market. And we're trying to get the roadblock moved. There's many other roadblocks in opening up roadblocks. I'm telling you, your concerns are our concerns, but for every reason that we broach these concerns, we're given a reason why it can't happen. Yes, ma'am.
Bible camp in Potter Valley is my question, and also did we close down Potter Valley, the entire Potter Valley, because we're predicting that the fire is going to take over Potter Valley?
So I'll let CAL FIRE deal with the Bible camp question, but the Potter Valley evacuation was made the way it was because of the one road in and out is what it was. Let me tell you this, and maybe this isn't the right thing for me to say right now, but when we say a mandatory evacuation, the sheriff's office is not going to take anybody to jail who refuses to evacuate, because we have other things to do. So when we say it's a mandatory evacuation, we're telling you we believe that danger is imminent, and that you should at least gather your belongings and gather your wits and make sure your car has fuel in it, make sure your cell phone is fully charged, make sure you call someone or leave a note of where you're going to be, make sure your pets are being taken care of. There's a lot of things other than just grabbing your purse or grabbing your wallet and running out the door. So we're letting people know that this is not a drill, this is a real thing. So as far as Bible camp,
as far as we know right now, it's not impacted. And one of the other reasons for the closure is that we're trying to move equipment into that area, so we need to have everybody out of there so we can get our stuff in. It's very dynamic with the wind changes. They're going back and forth. We've got to be able to move our equipment around and get in there to save the property, your property. So that's one of the reasons why we're putting the road closures where they are, is so we can get our stuff in there to put the fire out.
I'm not complaining, I'm thanking you all also.
I want to assure you guys that we've had this conversation, and the sheriff is very, very, very aware of your needs. He brings them up to us and says, look, justify what you're doing. I want to know why you're keeping people out of their homes. And like he said, we're talking about it every hour, all day, during the last couple days. We understand. We're doing everything we can to get you back into your homes. So believe me, he has listened. We have listened, and we're working together to try to make this happen, okay?
Yes, ma'am. So the rumors about Red Cross supplying gift vouchers, hotel vouchers is not true. But I was told that 100% of donations that are going to Red Cross are staying in the area, and there's no administrative fee, correct? The Community Foundation is also accepting they're a tax-deductible location or organization where they will also guarantee that 100% of your donation is dispersed to local residents for this immediate need.
And also because I am a local, I know that there's a lot of issues with people and their opinions of Red Cross. I have been telling them if they have monetary donations to go to the local.
Okay, thank you for volunteering. Redwood Credit Union is also involved in accepting donations and dispersing them. Yes, sir.
Are you saying because of changing wind conditions that it would not be possible for us to be put back into Redwood Valley within the next 48 hours?
No one is saying 48 hours. Listen, if the fire went out tonight, we'd have you back in the morning. But, no joke, but the red flag warning, and this morning when we woke up, chances are you were wearing a jacket when you came outside. That didn't happen Monday morning. And so the weather is getting better and the humidity is going up. So things are getting better, but every day is we don't know what we don't know, and every day is getting better, and we're trying to get the information out. When the decision is made to repopulate, please listen to, either have your cell phone registered or listen to local radio, because we will announce it to local radio that in a certain block is going to be allowed to repopulate. Yes, sir?
It's been announced that district attorney is going to start having prosecution of those who are caught in their homes in the red area. Is that still true, or is that just up to them if they want to stay there and get fried?
I have not heard the district attorney say he's going to prosecute people who were staying in their house. I have not heard that. I can't speak for the district attorney.
It's in the newspaper. Ukiah.
I'll ask the district attorney to be at the next press conference.
Okay, thank you.
So Congressman Huffman and Assemblyman Wood are here. Congressman, it's a great crowd. Good luck.
Thanks, Sheriff. Look, I think it's important that you know that your government representatives at every level are here on the ground, are fully engaged, and are committed to making sure you get the full measure of support from every level of government that you deserve. So that's why I'm here. That's why this is my second trip up to be with you. We understand the severity of this crisis. I hope in the hours ahead I'll have a chance to get out near the Potter Valley side of this fire. I saw the devastation in the Redwood Valley a couple days ago. And just know that my office and my team are fully committed. We got a little bit of good news today. Even in a tough political climate, we have bipartisan support for disaster relief here in California. And I know some maybe have worried about that our country might have disaster fatigue, right, with the hurricanes and everything. Well, today at the last minute, there was a bill moving through the House for a hurricane disaster aid. We were able to put another $1 billion in for these wildfires. We'll get more, and please know that Congressman Mike Thompson and I, our phones have been ringing off the hook from colleagues all over the country, making sure that we know that they are in it with us. We're going to have your backs here in Washington. So hang in there, and I'll hand off to Assemblymember Jim Wood, who's also been a real champion for you.
Thank you very much. I just want to assure you from the level of the state, obviously we've got tremendous resources here from CAL FIRE and a variety of other agencies. As luck would have it, I was in Sacramento on Monday morning, had a chance to speak directly with the governor. He's well aware of this, and we have dispatched every possible asset to get to all of these fires. So we will get as much information to you as we can. This is still obviously a dynamic situation, changing rapidly. And we are focused on your needs here in Mendocino County as well. My team has been working on actively updating things on our website. We have links to a variety of things. If you go to Assemblymember Jim Wood, search that, my official website, there should be a landing page which gives you some links to some additional resources. There's going to be a lot of things people need to access as we go forward here. But as the sheriff I know has said, the emphasis now has to be on protecting people's safety and then their property, and moving forward from there. So please be patient, and really I can't stress enough how important it is to really heed the evacuation warnings. We, Congressman Huffman and I, have been out on sites in Sonoma County and here as well, and they truly are dangerous. And there are areas that, while it may look like these fires are out, there are hot spots, and the last thing anybody wants to see is any of you get out there and get hurt. Or worse, and so please heed these warnings. This is not meant to inconvenience you. It's meant to protect you. So please heed the warnings. So, I'm sorry. Well, she has a question. You're the MC, but I'll.
Oh yeah, take it. Please tell Governor Brown to leave Mendocino County.
Well, I have told Governor Brown.
His declaration, he mentions every county that's fire hazard. No,
It's mentioned.
Let me take care of that.
We're there now.
So the Bay Area radio TV station doesn't want to hear this. They've been announcing Lake County, Sonoma County, and Napa County. Our declaration was signed the same day. We just didn't get it on TV. But our declaration was signed by Governor Brown the same day, thanks to Carmel Angelo and her team. So there was just confusion. Yes? Wait, no, you had one. Hold on, let me get, where one here? Yes?
I'm here to look at detailed damage maps. How do we do that?
So right at the conclusion of this meeting, right over here to my right, we have a map, and we'll have some folks over there to talk to you about the map.
Yes, sir, and then you, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes.
I apologize if this question's been asked already, but we just got here. We have a medical situation. We took out enough meds for what we thought was going to be...
Come see me after the meeting, okay? All right. Yes, ma'am? We heard there's a 20% chance of rain Thursday. What has CAL FIRE heard?
Are you talking Thursday next week?
Yeah, not today.
We're literally planning, you know, a couple days ahead and actually dealing with the event in front of us. And we probably won't look to Thursday until we get a little bit closer. I don't know the answer to that.
All right. Yes, ma'am? And then if you have an individual question, we'll be up here. Thank you. Yes, ma'am?
Yeah, going back to the Red Valley post office. Yesterday I went to the Ukiah post office to pick my Red Valley mail. The person, the postmistress told me that they had a package put on my box, but she couldn't give it to me because it was Wednesday. She told me, however, that Friday, tomorrow, they would be open and we would be able to access that. Is that true?
So there was a gentleman that knew about the post office here, so she was told that Friday they'll be able to pick up packages. After this meeting, can you two please get together? Thank you very much. Okay, so thank you very much for your patience. Tomorrow's meeting is going to be at 6:30. Yes, last question of the night. Yes, sir. The winds on Saturday, where are they coming from?
So the winds will be coming from the north-northeast, blowing down. That's correct. So real quick, when I talk about the winds and the direction, I'm giving you a general direction. That doesn't account for local effects. So if there's canyons, or if there's local eddies, or the wind might be heavier in the higher elevations and not as heavy in the lower elevations, we're giving you a very, very general. That's the prediction of the winds, and the prediction is that they're going to be a little bit less than the wind event that we saw on Sunday and Monday, but remember, that's a prediction from a model, so we're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
Where are we at with containing?
Let me get my sheet real quick. So I have it broken down per fire. I'll give you the per fire containment. All right, so for the Redwood fire, we're still calling it at 5% contained. For the sulfur fire, we're calling it 45% contained. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you at 6:30 tomorrow night.